We're going to start on your post-it, and I want to just jot down a couple ideas that I noticed there's been a little bit of confusion on with regards to solving equations. So let's just write an equation. And I'm just making one up. So let's write 3x plus 5 equals, 5x minus, in fact, let me change this, 4x minus 2. Okay, 3x minus 5 equals 4x minus 2. So there's an equation. Now, the two words that I want to clarify are coefficient and constant. Okay, and you're writing this on your post-it. A coefficient is a number that's being multiplied by a variable. So here's the variable x. The number that's being multiplied by the variable is 3. So one of the coefficients in this equation is 3, is a coefficient. And the other number that's being multiplied by a variable is 4. So the coefficients in this equation are 3 and 4. So there's a point when we're solving equations where we're looking for the smaller coefficient. So in this case, I'd be looking at 3. Now, constants are numbers that don't have a variable attached to them, that are just being added or subtracted, and they're not being multiplied by a variable. So this is a constant, positive 5, and this is a constant, negative 2. Okay, so those are just two terms that I've noticed there's some confusion about, right? Coefficient, number that's multiplied by a variable. Constant, number that's sort of by itself, not multiplied by a variable. And then remember, our goal, this is another word that's really important, is to isolate the variable. We want the variable by itself. When you isolate something, it means to put it by itself. Okay, so that said, let's start solving some equations. And we're going to use your whiteboard, so take out your whiteboard and go ahead and copy down this equation. Now, I'm going to just turn my post-it sideways, right? So I still have those notes, but I'm also going to take down some steps. So remember my first step when I solve equations is I look for parentheses, right? And if I have parentheses, I distribute. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2, now if you didn't have enough space on your post-it, what you can do is you can just like flip it and do this on the back, right? But I want you to just have some notes jotted down next to you as you're working. The second step is combine like terms. Now, both of these, you do not cross the equal sign. You stay on one side of the equation, right? So I would look on the left side, and I would see other like terms over here, and I would look on the right side, other like terms over here, but I'm not crossing the equal sign yet. Okay, now, this is a big jump, where now we start crossing the equal sign. Okay, so no crossing the equal sign in step 1 and 2. Now in step 3 is where we start crossing the equal sign. Okay, and what we do is we want all the variables on one side. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the variable term. So like this is a variable term, 7x. This is a variable term, 10x. I look for the variable term with the smaller coefficient and I cancel it. So cancel variable term with smaller coefficient. Okay, that's step 3. Step 4. Once I've done that, then that's when I deal with the constants. So I deal with variables first, then constants. So I'm going to cancel a constant. And here's the thing, I'm looking to isolate the variable. So once I have the variables all on one side, what I'm doing is I'm canceling everything that's on the same side of the variables. So cancel constant that's with variable on the same side as the variable. Okay, and then the last thing you're going to end up doing is dividing. And then always a good idea to check your answer at the end. Okay, so let's use these steps. And I'm just going to put them so they're just visible to us over here. Okay, and let's do this first. Actually, let me make sure we can see everything. Okay, here we go. Step 1, distribute. Well, I don't have any parentheses, so I'm not distributing. Step 2, combine like terms. Remember, this is only on one side of the equation or the other. So are there like terms here? No, right? This is 10x, it has an x with it. This doesn't have an x with it. This is just one term, so there's definitely not like terms. So here, now I'm on step 3. Cancel variable term with smaller coefficient. So this is true when I have variables on both sides of the equation. I need to cancel one of them. And what I do is I find the one with the smaller coefficient. And so, for example, in this case, this is a 10 and a 7. 7 is smaller. I'm going to cancel the 7x. This is a positive 7x. I'm going to subtract 7x from both sides. And when I do that, I get 10 minus 7 is 3x plus 9. And it equals 7x minus 7x is 0. Okay? And one thing that I've noticed that a lot of you get confused on is you lose track of where this equal sign is. So this is a really good strategy. Okay, just draw a line down the middle, and then that line doesn't move, the equal sign stays there. Okay, so I've canceled the variable with a smaller coefficient, and now look, I have my variables all on one side. There's only x's over here. So now I'm going to cancel the constant that's with the variable. So the constant that's with the variable, so this is the coefficient, right? But the constant that's on the same side as the variable is the plus 9. So I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. And what I get is, right, this cancels. I get 3x equals 0 minus 9 is negative 9. And then step 5 is going to be divide. I'm going to divide by 3. Divide by 3. And I get x equals negative divided by positive is a negative. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Oops, sorry. Okay, and my work looks like that. So ask any questions you have about this one, and then you're going to erase it, and we're going to try another one. Now what you should do is copy this down and then pause it and try it and see, because the thing is, if you make mistakes, it's fine, right? There's no consequence to making mistakes here, and fixing them is a really good way to learn. Okay, so pause it now if you want to try it on your own. Otherwise, here we go. I'm going to distribute, right? Step 1, distribute. 8x, 4 times negative 5, minus 20. There's nothing to distribute over here, so I'm just going to bring down. Okay. Now, next step is combine like terms. I don't have like terms. So, right, and look, here's what I mean. Like, these are like terms, but they're on different sides of the equal sign. So I look on the left side. Are those like terms? No. Look on the right side. Are those like terms? Nope. So I have no like terms. So next, cancel variable term with the smaller coefficient. So variable term, I have 8x and 5x. Which coefficient is smaller? Well, the 5 is, so I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. And I get 3x minus 20 equals 1. Okay, good. Next step. Here's my variable. I want it by itself. So I'm going to cancel the constant that's with the variable. Right, this was a minus 20. This was a constant, right? It's a coefficient. So I'm talking about the constant, the number without a variable being multiplied by it. Minus 20, the opposite is plus 20. I get 3x equals 21. So now, when I divide by 3, I get x equals 7. If you have questions on this, ask, right? Definitely ask. And last one. You should definitely be pausing and trying this one on your own. At this point, right, it's like you should be starting to really work on your own on these and being able to at least start by yourself. And maybe there's some confusion, and that's okay, right? But you start by yourself. Step 1, distribute. Okay, so there's nothing here to distribute. Step 2, combine like terms. So I ask myself, are there like terms on the left side? There are like terms on the left side, right? There aren't on the right side. X and negative 4 aren't like terms, but on the left side there are. So what are my like terms here? So let's see, negative 5 and positive 2 are like terms. So what is, right, it should just be a negative 5 zoom out a little bit. So negative 5 and positive 2. So these cancel, and I'm left with negative 3. So this is negative 3x, and then I have 3 and 1, right? That's just this. That's just 3 and another 1. That's 4 positives. That's plus 4. Equals, right? There's no like terms on this side, so this is x minus 4. Okay. So now I'm on to step 3. I'm going to cancel the variable term with a smaller coefficient. So what's the coefficient here when there's no coefficient? That's an imaginary 1, right? You can draw it if you want. Just fill it in. And then this is a negative 3. What's smaller, 1 or negative 3? A negative number is always going to be smaller than a positive number. So let's deal with we're going to cancel the smaller coefficient. So how do I cancel minus 3x? I do plus 3x. This is 4 equals 1 plus 3 is 4x minus 4. Okay, next I'm going to cancel the constant that's with the variable. Okay, so here's the variable right here. So what's the constant that's with it? Well, the coefficient is here, it's 4, and the constant is here, it's negative 4. So I'm going to cancel that. To cancel negative 4, I do plus 4. And last step, I'm going to squeeze it in there. I divide by 4. I get 2 equals x. Okay. Ask any clarifying questions now.